Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Is everything good?
So far, so good.
All righty. Okay, so let's just give a 1 minute before we get started. Okay, so we have only 2 weeks before the Thanksgiving. Gosh, really coming down to stretch. Okay, let's get started. Do you have any questions before get to other stuff?
Nah, no questions, really. No questions.
Okay. All righty. Okay, we'll get into project just a minute, but that's what we're going to talk about later, the project. And the first we're going to talk about is chapter, let's see, chapter 9, I believe. Chapter 9, which is quality chapter. So let's bring it in. Management of quality. Okay, give me just a second. Then we're going to take a look at assignment as well. There we go. So a little bit about quality, management of quality. So most of sections in this quality chapter is more of theoretical background, and I think it's in some sense that's quite arbitrary content because depending on who you're asking, you know, the quality can be different. Okay, but traditionally, those are some dimensions that we can talk about quality in terms of product quality or service quality. So performance and features. So what kind of specific items that you can add to, for example. Another quality, we talk about reliability. I think that's traditionally we use in terms of measuring quality, and durability, and aesthetics, the appearance, and serviceability, ease of use, usefulness, you know, those are serviceability. So those are some dimensions of product quality. So some of them we can test it, actually measure. Others are not. It's really hard to measure in some sense. And determinants of quality. So quality depends on design quality. Just like you're building a software, you know, traditionally they call it programmers, but now we call them software engineer, right? So that the way they build their software is just going through all those steps. It's not like they're creating from their, you know, their brain and they lay out whatever they want to do, but they have all those steps that they need to go through step by step, starting from design all the way to the testing purpose, so that they can make sure everything works. So same thing here. When we talk about product quality, service quality, you need to design it. Then you need to follow based on those design so that it can be tested eventually, how those design works. And in terms of cost of quality, and those costs are involved in quality. We talk about prevention costs in terms of training or planning, those phases, and appraisal cost when you do inspecting, testing. There's another, big chunk of cost involved. Internal failure costs when something happened before those product service reaching to customers. That's what they call internal failure cost. And also external failure cost. After you deliver the product, then the cost can be involved. Then the last probably 20, 30 years, in management sector, we talk about total quality management a lot. Okay. And that's a kind of philosophical idea that comes from different sectors, different disciplines, and they adapt it. So people like Deming, Jordan, Crosby talk about TQM a lot, and they produce a lot of papers and lectures regarding this TQM. So that's something this chapter was talking about. Then tools, that's something we're going to talk about today in the assignment. So what are the tools to measure the quality improvement? We'll see how our quality is consist of, so that we can kind of lay out, the data that you have collected over particular quality. So we use the check sheets and Pareto chart, and different types of charts are used, as well as diagram. So in that purpose, we're going to use Excel. So I think it's more like a chapter in Excel, I guess, because that's something those assignments are trying to ask you. Come up with check sheets by summarizing the data, and you need to draw Pareto chart or whatever those charts based on those organized check sheets. Okay, so that's what we're going to work on. So let's go to assignment. First assignment based on matter of fact, all those three problems are based on the Excel sheets. Okay, the data are already given, so that all you do is just open up Excel, then you work on those Excel sheets. So here we go. There you go. This is the first one. All right, so this is the automobile repair shop, and they trying to they have all those data collected for that particular, not sure it was a week or a month, but they collected those tickets, and then they recorded. So these are the available different type of works they do: lube, and oil change, brakes, tires, battery, and transmission. 5 different kinds of works. So they have all those tickets are produced, and just ask you to come up with check sheets. Check sheets is nothing more than just organized, table, depending on how you're going to organize. So if you have some, the data set are really organized well, just go beyond those 2-dimensional, you can work with pivot table or pivot chart. But our data set is pretty straightforward, so we can just use it pretty much, those 2 columns. So what I have is just, this is just only 30 data point. If you're like 300, 3,000, then we cannot do it manually, right? And with this, we can just count it one by one. But since we're doing Excel, we can use the count if function, right? So that's what I used, and you should use it as well. So to count lube and oil, then, just based on this entire table, then we're going to count lube and oil. So this is how you're going to do it in terms of countif syntax. Okay, so the first variable is just entire data set, comma, then you're going to show either, you can type it in with the double quotes, or you can just click or show the cell containing the word lube and oil. Okay, so meaning that you can just, here you can type it in. Just exactly as appeared. Just like that. Oops. What am I doing? Double quotes. Okay. So either way, so I just use the cell reference rather than type it in. Same thing for brakes, tires, so they just return the number of items satisfying the counting function. Once you have that this organized, and all you do is just go to insert, then chart, or just select particular chart, but we typically go to recommended chart so that we can select a recommended chart that makes sense, or you can go to all chart so they can select the histogram in this example. This is a Pareto chart. I think we can select the histogram part. Okay, so that's what I have here. And you can show the number if you want it from the data label, right? So right here like that, outside end, if you want to show the number. So pretty straightforward. Problem 2. Do the same thing based on this data set. Looks like this is another type of job, but this has some more dimensions, right? So this is, what is it, air conditioner repair. So we have commercial and residential. So C stands for commercial, R stands for residential. Types of problem they have, N for noise, F for equipment failure, W the temperature, O for odor. Okay, so you combine with the C, R with those key different type of problems. So it can be CN, CF, CW, CO, all kinds of. So that's what we have here in terms of problem, a particular job. So FR, there's the what is it? A failure with a residential. O, there's some auto problem, and noise for this commercial, commercial sector and all that. So that's something we're trying to organize. So because we have 2 different variables within a cell, you can either separate it. I think one way to do this, we can separate like using left-right function, but I don't think it's necessary because it's not that many, first of all. And I think some people suggest like using, for example, here's what I mean by that. So we're going to kind of extract F and R, separate F and R, so that we can separate the problem column and the type of customer CNR. Okay, here's what I mean by that. Left, using the left function, then you just select that. Then we're gonna just extract 1 from left, so we can separate that, and then right function with same thing, then just extract only one from all the way from right, so then we can separate F and R. Then we go from there, then we will organize, and we can count. But I think it's more complicated. I think it's more thorough if you do that. But here's what I did. What I did was I just use the same thing with the other problem. I'll just use the count if function. Okay, so I just count FR, OR, NC, and all that. Okay, well, then how you know you have only this combination? Well, first of all, I just copy all of this on column. I think I'd rather cancel that. Okay, B and B, D, F, right? B, D, F, and put it into one column. So I have all those like a 41 in one column. Then you apply that, this function, counting function, okay? Then you're gonna have like 41 cells vertically. Then you identify the number repeated, right? Because FR repeated 7 times. So I remove 6 of them here. OR repeated 5 times. So I remove 4 other ORs. So that's what I have it here, remaining unique, cells. So that I can organize this way. I think this could be easier than trying to separate, into different columns. But anyway, so once you run that, right, you have that. I don't know why I showed this one, but I think this show the left and right function. I did it, but I don't think I need it for if I do this way. But I think this is kind of extra stuff. But once I have this, then that's it. All you do is just put it into where's the other table? There you go. This table, because it's residential, commercial, goes to column. Then problems goes to the rows. Then you plug in those numbers, 10, 4, 3, 2, 7, and all that. Actually, I think this is it. And this one is I just put it the other way around, I just did the transpose this. I tried different things, so it can be a little bit confusing, but this is what I had. But because I have totals, so it looks a little bit more than what I have here, but I have totals and totals across. So plug in, then all you do is rest of them are just put it into histogram again, separate residential and commercial. Okay. So that's what I have in these charts. If you have any questions, let me know. No problem? All right, so then let's move on to problem 3. This problem, the goal is same. Goal is just check sheets and create a chart. Okay, but this time we have a time. So things are a little bit more complex compared to the other one because you need to organize the time. Okay, the prompt says you need to organize those time for the duration of every 5 minutes. So it's starting from 1. So what I had is they recorded those calls. We have 42 calls coming in. They recorded the time. So it's kind of a recording the timeline. but they have only 42 times, and they try to organize, between every duration for 5 minutes, how many calls coming in. So here's how you're going to organize between this 1 to 104, 1 calls between 105, 110, 2 calls. That's basically what we're going to come up with by reading this raw data, right? And to do that, first, here's what I tried. What I tried was just, naturally, I was thinking just create this column for the range 1 minute to 104. It is hour or minute. I don't recall, but really doesn't matter. So put it into the same cell. But remember, the Excel cannot recognize two values in a same cell. So you need to separate. So that's why I separate this time. If I do that, I need to do it eventually. Eventually, I used count ifs so that I can count one or whatever the time that involves in 1 to 104. But I need to do it manually because it cannot recognize those two numbers at the same time, right? So that what I did was I separate this one into J and the other, time into another column so that Excel can understand those two, values, even though you apply countif function. Here's what I had in countif function this time. It looks a little bit hard, but it's not actually countifs, so that this first range is the entire data set from here. Then I have it greater than or equals to. We need to use a double quotes because it's not number, right? Then ampersand will attach J2. J2 is the first value for those time range, which is 100, okay? Then the other value that countif will recognize will be, again, out of all this range data set, understand less than or equals to K2 is 104 in K2. By doing so, Excel can now execute this countif function without any problem. So that the main difference is I can autofill with this, but this one, if I do it this way, I cannot do the autofill. I have to do it one by one. I have to manually change, those syntax one by one. This one I can just autofill all the way down, then it should work. So that's what I did, and I come up with, I just want to show you one more time. If you want to learn this countif function, then I just highlight the results, put it into this line chart. This is just line chart. It's not histogram because this is not, the histogram is not the best one for this one, I guess. So you go to recommended chart or chart, line chart. So different line chart. So I think this is the better one so that it'll show, this tick mark or whatever they call it, marker. And with a number even that's under design. So if you go to different chart designs, you have this. Okay. So that's what I come up with. And now we have check sheets and we have the chart and understand what exactly going on, right? Right here, like between 216, 2 to 216, and I think this set is a little bit, time is a little bit weird since I bring it over from there. That's the 2 to 216, yeah. So that's, number should be going up 5, right? Let's check again. I think it's something happened here. 20. It should be 10. Yeah, somehow this is, should be 4, right? I think I need to fix it. It should be 1, 1, 1, 4, right? I think somehow it just increased. So I need to change this. Okay. But once you apply this, then that's how you're going to show. Then, assuming this is correct, then you'll see where the problem comes from. That's right here in this area, the range of time. Then problem occurs. So that's what I have for problem 3. Any questions, problems?
No,
Again,
no questions. Thank you.
Yeah, make sure you do correct when you do your stuff because the range is a little bit off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's something you have to keep in mind. All right. And about the project, where is my project? Project. There you go, project. All right. So the project is basically combine those assignment problems, okay, in terms of skills that you're going to use. So this is the purpose of the project, to apply some skills and principles of operations management so that you can kind of apply those skills into the problem solving, okay. But this is the purpose of the project. So you don't have to actually write or, repeat this thing, okay. But here's how you're going to do it starting from title page. So you need to put the title. This is just, kind of simulated title that I come up with. So to come up with title, then you need to have those sections in your project in terms of documentation and what kind of file you need to submit, either PDF or Word file, and Excel workbook, okay, Excel worksheets. Okay. And in the beginning, you want to just show kind of opening paragraph, how you're going to proceed your project and what are the motivation and all that. Again, this is example for landscaping in operation that I just made up. So the framework for the project, I just put it into different steps. Step 1, step 2, all the way. So you need to come up with a scenario. Okay, if you just adapt the real world from the small business, local business, or if some friends or folks run the business, that will be great. Or you can just kind of create your own, if you will. So different kind of business can be any small service, bakery, for example, coffee shop, restaurant, repair shop, those things that involve some sort of products, services can have a quantity related data set. Okay. Here's a sample scenario. Another one. This is not the same thing that I have here, landscape, but assuming we're going to do bakery, then you describe what kind of operation does and explain a little bit of particular business in terms of employees, what the operations will do, and what kind of product and services to be focused. Step 2 is the goals. So what are the goals for your project? And what exactly you're trying to achieve? So you're trying to measure something, you're trying to evaluate something, or you're trying to forecast, and you're trying to test it, audit, different kinds of. So you need to declare at least 3 or 4 different types of goals. Okay. For that, you need to have the data. Okay. So I come up with a data set. I have a 12 weeks data set. So you need to have at least, good number of weeks or months, not just 5 or 6 weeks. It's too small. Unless you're going to break down into days or hours, but you need to have a good amount of data set. It's hard to tell how many. I cannot tell it's hundreds or thousand, but if you have a small number, it doesn't, your the quality or reliability of your data cannot be validated. So make sure you have enough number of data sets. So these are examples of data, different data set. I have production, labor, and demand, or products. And this is assuming the bakery, so they have, all different items for different operation, pack, icing, burn, label. So what kind of analysis are we going to do? So we need to do, these are the basic analysis all project must do. Productivity, you come up with the productivity and in terms of output, labor, or other types of input that you're going to do. So you need to report table, labor, productivity, revenue, profit, costs, and all that. And break-even analysis. So you come up with costs and then price per unit. So you come up again that related to the productivity because you're going to come up with revenue and profit to do this. So you need to come up with a break-even point with, of course, the charts and graphs. Then you're gonna explain, explain the break-even points or charts. Then we're going to do forecasting. So if you have a 12 weeks, right, or 14 weeks, then next 4 weeks or whatever number of weeks must be looked at so that you can forecast what's going to come in. So what kind of method? Typically, those 3, you can use more than 3, but those 3 must be done in terms of forecasting method. So not only those calculation steps, make sure you have the chart, and then you're going to have the analysis and explanation for that methods. So those are 3 techniques are basic, right? But we have advanced technique that we need to do. So we're going to do at least 2. So you can choose the reliability. So you just have those risks or probability so that you can calculate the reliability of that tasks. Or you can apply decision theory that we have played with before. Right? So you can apply max, min, max or regret, all the different kinds of decision theory or location planning so that you can calculate and compare the costs involved moving the location one place to another. The other one you can do is calculating the work design, right? So you can calculate the time versus standard time and observed time. Then the other one is, I think, something related to that we had in today, quality control, so that you can come up with the check sheets as well as a chart, either Pareto or other type of charts. Okay, so that's the advanced method that you're going to apply. And afterwards, then you're going to recommend based on those technique or method you ran. Then finally, you're going to give a short reflection so that kind of conclude and then what kind of impression you have and what's the overall status of this company and the operation as well. Okay, so don't forget to submit all those required documentation, either Word or PDF, as well as spreadsheets. All right. Any questions, comments?
No, thank you.
Okay, great. Anybody else? Questions?
Nope. Thank you.
Looks good.